Hey everybody, Trial Games here, and today we're discussing a very interesting and heavily underrated component, the wall. Walls, outside of being a decorative component, are also a redstone component, and they have a few very interesting mechanics which makes them very useful in general applications. Now, as you see here, the walls connect to some blocks and don't connect to others. The list is quite extensive and I can't cover all of it. I encourage you to just experiment on your own if you're dealing with them. Here are a few good ones. For example, they connect to observers, beacons, glass, these blocks. They don't connect to these blocks. And depending on your application, you'll either want it to or want it to not connect to some blocks. Now, what do walls actually do? Well, they transport signal, and they have some pretty interesting rules for doing so. Firstly, they transport it downwards only, and they transport block shape updates on the wall only. They don't update any adjacent blocks. So, for example, this updates the wall, which the observer is observing, and that creates output. If I make a hole in this wall, will only update to the hole. As has been stated, they don't update any of the blocks they are connected to or any adjacent ones. For example, there is this bud. Now, if I update it manually, it does goofy stuff. Yeah, it updates itself repeatedly and it loops. And the observer has to have an update in front of it. But as you see, that doesn't do anything. Now this on its own already has many uses. For example, it can replace dust control lines, it can be used for priming, it can power literally anything as long as it's vertically stacked, and it's just an incredible tool. But what if I told you there's more? Now, the thing with walls is that they can't only be used with blocks on either side. They have multiple different ways you can configure it. This is, for example, one. I just mined directly down, no fuckery, and put an observer at the end going into this lamp. And as you see, if I activate it, it triggers. For example, something like this. In this case, the walls are one white tileable and the observers are taking output. Now, as you see, these blocks at the back only have to be on the bottom where the observers are taking output. And if you want, you can have observers there as well, anywhere you want. And it does work. There are two additional uses to walls. The first one being you can cancel it, more specifically, cancel it with a piston, and the second one being that they have a very specific update order, being from top to bottom, which you can use alongside with priming to create some interesting rippling effects. For example, here, anything connected to this observer will update before anything connected to this one, and so on and so on and so on, which is very useful. To showcase one of its uses, more specifically the update order one, I'm going to go to this a bit of an outdated piece of tech. Now it works flawlessly, and this is a 5 Hz instant adder. It uses comparator priming, and it uses the wall update order to actually do ripple carry logic instantly. So yes, you heard me right, this is a pistonless instant RCA. Currently has activated for some reason. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the values in here, but it works, and yeah, it does it as intended. Now, more specifically, what it does is it uses this single wall to basically do the whole rippling area of it, the whole update order of that, so that the first bit ripples first, then the second, then the third, and then the fourth, each time you do a calculation. As far as the second mechanic is concerned, that being the cancelling, we can do something like this. What this does is it performs carry cancel calculation with a single tower, so this is technically an ICA, but it doesn't use any finicky bugs or mechanics, and it's infinitely stackable and synchronized. So if I do that, and I were to add one, ripples through instantly. So, yeah, that's everything I had to say. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, whatever. Do the whole thing. Feel free to join my Discord, and I'll have a new video coming out any day now. Yeah, thank you. Bye.